Hey you guys, this is Mr. Sal. So I got this question on the homework from a student, and I thought I'd do a video on it. Maybe a little bit more helpful to see this through this video format. So I hope it helps you guys out in solving these types of absolute value inequalities. So as with any other absolute value, whether it's an inequality or equality, we need to isolate the absolute values, meaning what we really want is some kind of absolute value is, in this case, maybe less than or even greater than some number over here. So we can't have this -6 there or this -4 here. So in order to do this, it would be just like manipulating an equation for an absolute value. So the first thing we need to do is add 6 to both sides, just like we see here, and the -6 plus 6, that becomes a 0, so that cancels out. Then we've got the -42 plus 6, which is a -36 here. Now what we're going to do is, this is -4 times this absolute value. We need to divide both sides by this -4, so that, again, we just have the absolute value. We don't want anything multiplied by it, except for maybe 1. Which is what we're doing here. -4 divided by -4 is 1. That would be okay, but since we divided both sides by a negative, we need to flip the inequality. So we have the absolute value of 6x minus 2, but over here we've got -36 divided by -4, which is a +9. And this is okay. It would have been alright if that's a negative. It just would have meant that x could be any number, any real number. So from here we have an absolute value which is greater than 9. So what I recommend doing is splitting this up into two separate inequalities. We have the 6x minus 2 for both of them. And the first one is just going to be greater than the +9, but on the second one it's going to be less than -9. What this means is that on the graph, it's going to be an OR statement, meaning we're going to have some open circles going to the right and then an open circle going to the left. Now if they intersect, because this is an OR statement, it may be all real numbers, but that's a very rare situation that will happen. Another way to look at this is that, notice we kept this exactly the same way up here because it's positive, but once we change that to a negative, it's kind of like we did up here. We got to flip that sign. So it changed from greater than to less than, and now it's a -9 here. So the process for solving both of these is the same. We would add 2 on both sides for both equations. And that's pretty much the same thing you would do as if you were solving a regular inequality, right? Because right here we don't have the absolute values. And then finally we would divide both sides by 6 on both equations. And these two are both our inequalities, but usually it wants a graph and the interval. So let's take a look at what those two would be as well. So for the graph, again, it should look something similar to what we have up here. And 11/6 is about 1 and 5/6 right there. So it's a little bit less than 2, right? So I got 0, 1, 2 right here, and 11/6 would be, maybe about right here, and that is going to be an open circle because it's not equal to, and since it's eating the x, that line is going to go to the right. -7/6 is -1 and 1/6, so it's just a little bit more than 1, -1 rather, a little bit less than -1 is what I should say. So that's going to give us an open circle here, and since it's not eating the x, it goes to the left. So sure enough, it does look a lot like what we have up here. And what does this mean for the interval? Well, we can see that it goes from -infinity, this one on the left, and then it stops at that -7/6, which is not included, so we're going to use a parentheses there, and then we'll unite this with this other set over here starting at 11/6, which is not included, so I got a parentheses, and it will go all the way to infinity right here. So depending on what it asks, it may ask for the interval, which we have here, It may just ask for the solutions, which is this one. And of course, we would want to indicate that this is an OR statement or a union statement. And then we also have the graph. So hopefully that helps you guys out. Thanks for watching. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, comment below, you know, the routine. So, but in any case, I hope it helps you guys out. See you later.